Roshan, there's supposed to be quite a bit of people that will potentially make it today.
Okay, great. Yeah. Is Alvin going to be moderating? Or?
Yeah, Alvin will be joining as well. Yes.
Yeah, sure. So maybe we should just let him know, and maybe
Give them
we'll
some time. Yeah.
just should we post on the groups that we are starting now?
Yeah. So we got Alvin. Alvin. Hey, Alvin.
Hi, Alvin.
Alvin, you're on mute. Hello, everybody. We'll just give everybody a few minutes to join.
Vijay, it's looking like a nice day in Canada, in Toronto.
Today's been a good day. Yes, we did have a little bit of rain, but it's a good day. Very good day.
Nice. Hey, Jose, nice to see you too. And look forward. Actually, a lot of. we've specifically designed a role for developers and agents on the platform, and look forward to kind of speaking more to you one on one, connecting, and it's a beautiful place. I was lucky to be in Mexico maybe I think maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Been there 2, 3 times.
Hey guys, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes, yes, we can.
we can hear you now, Alvin.
Okay. Okay, we've got people here. I can't see them though.
They're under the attendee tab. If there's not many people, I think we can just get them all into panelists. But it depends on. I see 3 people. I see 4 people now.
Oh, so they'll all come in, and how do you get them in? I mean, isn't someone supposed to get them in?
No, they just come in by their own. So they will come in automatically.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay, so these are the people who said they'll attend, but they have not yet logged in. Okay.
Yes. So whoever has registered and have logged in, I see 4 people here. I see Antonio Coelho, Ashok Ranade, JD, and Jose R. Coelho.
Okay, I recognize Ashok. I don't know the other. I don't even know who JD is. But that being said, I think a lot of people are going to be registering and coming in because usually it's a click on a Zoom and they probably directly get in. So
And if we want to just send that once more, then once they
go
click it, we
ahead.
will.
Yeah, okay, but that might be something you'll probably, if you can do it, do it. If
Yeah,
there's
I'll just
nothing,
do it right now. One second.
let them register.
Sure,
And
sure. So, so in the meanwhile, guys, we have because right now we have like just I mean, it's a smaller group of about 7 people. Maybe we can do introductions. I'll start, and Vijay, once you do once you send out the link, maybe you can also do quick introductions.
Sure.
So, hi everyone. My name's Roshan. I'm one of the co-founders of the FOHO ecosystem, along with Vijay. I'm based in Bangalore. We are. My background is I was grew up in a very tiny place called Qatar. Moved in '96 to Bombay to the IIT there. To graduate with a degree in telecommunications, electrical engineering. IIT is the number one ranked technology university in India. And post graduating, I've pretty much been an entrepreneur throughout. My most recent venture, which I started about 10 years ago, is one of the largest vacation rental management companies. We are backed by the Singapore government. They are the largest shareholder after me. And we have about 8,000 vacation homes under management in the Asian geography. So spread between India, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Bali, Australia, etc. The FOHO ecosystem is essentially the world's first ecosystem that is, very cleanly and very elegantly bringing blockchain to the crypto universe. People can invest in real estate. It's an open marketplace. Anybody can come, create a listing. Other people can diligence it and then participate in the opportunity, and they can be rest assured that the ecosystem handles the trust element. The contracts are standardized through the smart contract, and pretty much the tokens are tradable on the secondary market, as well as virtually on any exchange or through any open or trust wallet enabled network on the blockchain. Vijay, you want to go next?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Roshan. And I think Roshan used to be a very modest guy that for the most time did not like to say he went to IIT, and I kept telling him, you've got to tell people you went to IIT, because there are a lot of people out there that are half as smart as him that will be touting the colleges that they went to, or the degrees that they have. So, for those of you who have any doubts about IIT, somebody once asked Narayana Murthy why his son went to MIT. And Narayana Murthy, by the way, is one of the richest people in the world, and the founder of Infosys. He said, my son couldn't get into IIT, so he went to MIT. Okay, Roshan, you got to pay me back some of that in coins. Okay, that was paid advertising. I'm just kidding. Okay, so Roshan, definitely, great to have him on board as a co-founder. My name is Vijay Thomas. I'm right here in Toronto. Those of you, if you're in North America, or some of you might be in Toronto, I'm in my office on Queen's Quay. I used to be able to see the CN Tower from my back until the frothy Canadian and Toronto real estate put 5 big buildings between me and the CN Tower in 1 year. So in 1 year, there's 5 buildings that have taken over my view, and this is one of the other big reasons that I think FOHO is a great idea. So I run a software company called Tangentia. Been running it for the last 17 years. We're a platinum partner of IBM. We're also been on the Profit 500 fastest growing companies in Canada 6 years in a row. Also, our US entity, Tangentia America, was on the fastest growing companies in the US, the Inc. 5000. So, and if you live in Ontario, we touch your lives. If you buy beer or wine in grocery stores, in 2015, when Kathleen Wynne announced there'll be beer in grocery stores, we were the company that delivered that whole system for them, and we continue to run that. So those of you who think, or have any doubts, it's almost $3 billion in revenue in beer bottles and wine. We run that on a daily basis. So absolutely, also we have an EDI platform, electronic data interchange. So almost $10 billion in revenue runs on our platforms every year. So we know a thing or two about in large enterprise platforms. We know a thing or two about blockchain. We have a blockchain consulting practice. We're partners with IBM. We help implement the IBM blockchain solutions. So and just a little background here before we get into the whole detail. I started FOHO.house as a fractional ownership platform in India in 2019. And in 2019, I proudly went and told everybody we're democratizing real estate. But guess what we were doing? We were fractionalizing property into 10 to 12 fractions and making it available, almost like a timeshare with ownership involved. And we were very happy. But come 2021, I ran into Roshan and we were talking about, he was thinking of something on his own. And we were like, we've got to join hands. And that's how the FOHO of today was born. And the whole FOHO of today is basically, if you have a condominium in or a apartment in New York overlooking Central Park that costs $2 million, you can break it into 10,000 fractions and somebody can buy a fraction for $200. So this is truly democratization of real estate. So with that out of the way, I'll run through a few slides, but I like Alvin, and Alvin today, thanks to Alvin, we've got some of our AMA was going on, but we wanted Alvin to kind of call some of his network, and we wanted to kind of present as well. So Alvin, if you want to say a few words as well. Before I go.
So yes, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Alvin D'Souza. I am a co-founder of Bitcoin Bay, which is based in Toronto. And Bitcoin Bay was conceptualized in 2014. I first heard about Bitcoin in 2013. And for those of you who don't know, we actually met on Bay Street and we were looking for a name, and someone said, why don't we just call ourselves Bitcoin Bay? And those were early days, guys. And I'm going to take a little extra time, Roshan and Vijay, to give you a background, because I've been blackguarded by a lot of people about the FOHO coin concept and stuff, especially from the blockchain side of it. And in the last couple of hours, I've been fighting them down, trying to get across a viewpoint that most people don't get. So first and foremost, hello, Clinton and Ashok. Thanks for joining, and everybody else. There will be more AMAs to cater to Dubai, Mumbai, and others. The IEO is on FOHOcoin.com. So if anybody wants to recommend anyone to go there and invest. But from my background, let me tell you, Bitcoin, it was already on, and I never understood blockchain that well. The word blockchain didn't exist in 2013. It was 2014-ish that things came. And it was 2014 that Vitalik came out with the concept of Ethereum and wanted to get investment for starting off contracts on the blockchain. And I used to go for the meetups, but not understand what he was talking about. And there were other investments to be made in the space from CoinKite, the payment terminals. You had Anthony Diorio coming out with, other than Ethereum, he had Jax, which was conceptualized at that time and stuff. Now, just to put things in perspective, the Ethereum offer to people was made at 30 cents, and last high was $5,000, which is, as per my calculation, I may be wrong, but anybody who put in the money at 30 cents, $5,000 is 2,600, 1,000%. Now, in the last hour, I was asked, why FOHO coin? And I turned around and told him, the experience I got from what I saw then is something I cannot give you. Come for the AMA, ask all your questions to Vijay and Roshan, just like I saw people asking Vitalik questions, and then take it from me that if 100% we knew that there's going to be 1,000% profit, then you're kidding me. Nobody knows the future, but There are some points I'm going to put forward bluntly. Other than realty, FOHO coin on a much larger basis is the first mover to solve what they are doing today in that vacuum of real estate on the blockchain. It's not a new concept, but nobody has solved it yet. Same thing for Ethereum. They were the first mover to solve contracts on the blockchain. Now, it's not like Satoshi didn't have the idea to do it, but he wanted to stop because the moment he managed to tokenize Bitcoin on the blockchain, he didn't want an additional problem to come about and add problems. So he stopped at Bitcoin, and there are reasons why Satoshi doesn't exist anymore, etc., etc. That's for another time. You can ping me directly. Also, Roshan, I hope you're reading the questions in there. But to get back, the company, and it's not necessarily FOHO coin, that moves to what Roshan and Vijay are trying to solve and succeeds is not going to get you just 5,000%. It's going to be, again, 1,000% return. I'm telling you, this is the first thing you need to understand is when the vacuum of some concept like what they're trying to solve exists, the successful person who is the first mover will get you such phenomenal returns, just like Bitcoin has and Ethereum has and the others have, that I want all success to these two gentlemen in their FOHO coin. And that's the first thing I'm trying to tell you is that nobody has thought of solving this problem in the way that they bring in. And that's for you to ask. And again, when you're solving a problem today, you don't solve it with the Ethereum way because there you needed technical people. Other than the fact that Vijay runs a full-fledged software company, Tangential, and both Roshan and Vijay, Roshan from Trip Villas in India, which is a very famous real estate based company, and Vijay are real estate guys. It's the real estate people's experience that's going to matter, along with the marriage with blockchain and the concepts that have to come about. And when you bluntly ask them, for example, at this point when you're investing, is it not a security token? Yes. But when you evolve the platform, will it not then become a utility token? That's the reality of Ethereum. And are you telling me that I'm taking Ethereum as a concept here, that later on we didn't have problems with Ethereum? Yes, there were. But step by step, being the first mover today, it has reached a valuation that might even touch $15,000 in the future. For 30 cents, you're getting a $15,000 return. I mean, that's where something like FOHO coin stands today. Now, I'm not the real estate guy, and Vijay's enthusiasm will give you all the answers that any of you in real estate want to ask. So just go ahead and ask. But from a Bitcoin or blockchain perspective and the marriage that's coming about with real estate coupled with blockchain, I see a lot of potential, and that's the reason why I'm so enthusiastic about this thing. Other than the fact that I happen to know a little bit about India and the background that the gentlemen's come from, so that's a little bit of a problem sometimes in Toronto because Roshan, they don't know. But like you see, I know Dave, and he came in a little later in 2016 at Bitcoin Bay meetups, so I happen to know him, and he happens to be a De Silva, just like you said. So there is some synergy there that's slightly different. But that being said, I'll leave it, pass the mic back to you guys, and any of you guys, Clint or anybody, any questions, please shoot out. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you very much, Alvin. I couldn't have done that better, although I just want to make a small correction. Right now, we're a utility token, and we will become a security token. It's the other way around. So it is utility right now.
Okay. I don't want to get into that part, but all I'm saying is security tokens, they have issues with the OSC
The
and
Ontario Security Commission or any of the thing. Absolutely. No, I entirely agree. And we'll talk about in a little more. Okay, so we will get to your good questions coming along. But with that, let me take you through a little bit of my spiel, as I might call it. Let me just pull out my presentation here. 1 second. Give me a second. Okay, so I'm going to do hopefully you can see this.
Yes.
Okay, so FOHO coin, the future of shared real estate. Now, what is included? NFT, escrow, blockchain, staking, sponsor, buyer, seller, all of the keywords, everything that you've probably been hearing. We've got that in our platform, and we'll get into a little more detail about how that's going to happen. Democratizing the real estate space. IU launches 27 July. That is today. We've already launched, and we've got a great announcement to make. Roshan, if you want to make that announcement in terms of our numbers for the IO, it's going to be open for
Yes.
today till the 3rd of August. But we have an announcement, and Roshan, I'll let you
Yeah.
do it.
Yes, yes. So we're very happy and encouraged that, even prior to opening the IEO, we already crossed our soft cap, which was 1.25 million with the private sales. So, really the high net worth individuals and the institutions really supported the project. We ended up raising more than 2.2, 2.3 million, e- even prior to opening the IEO, and we're well on course. So what we've done is we've reduced the retail participation to a total of only 750,000, and we've reserved another 4 million for more strategic and larger institutions. So look forward to having you all there. I mean, even today the participation's been phenomenal on the largest exchange in India, where we did the IEO, and it's open up to the 3rd of August.
Yeah. Thank you, Roshan. So everybody, thank you. Those of you, some of you might have already invested, or somebody, if you're not, I mean, I see some familiar names. Laura's back from last week. We've crossed, Laura. We've raised 2.2 million. Roshan was just mentioning that. So we're the train has left the station. That's all I can say. So thank you, and we'll now go into a little more detail. Um, so so the FOHO ecosystem. So the FOHO ecosystem is made up of 4 parts. The first part is the FOHO coin, which is what we are doing right now, which is the lifeblood of the FOHO ecosystem. This is a utility token. This is something that we are issuing right now. This is very similar, though a lot of you are blockchain experts out there. This is like if you went to a village fair, or in India they call it a mela, and you get some coupons at the gate, right? And you use these coupons, you go in, and you can use those coupons to get on the Ferris wheel, to play some games, to also probably order lunch, to order dinner. All of that is possible with these coupons. So similarly, the FOHO coin is a utility token that allows you to participate in the FOHO ecosystem, which is made up of FOHO.house, which is a blockchain-based residential real estate marketplace. Now, I'll give you a few examples of FOHO.house. So basically, you could be a person for $10,000, for which you can even not get a broom closet in New York, or a broom closet in Toronto. You can go and buy 110,000 of a apartment on Fifth Avenue overlooking Center Park. You can get 110,000 of a apartment in Tel Aviv. You can get 110,000 of a villa in Goa, India. You can get 110,000 of a ski chalet in Whistler, BC. So that is how it works. And I saw some questions there about how can you do. We'll go in a little more detail, but our friend in Mexico, it is a marketplace. So you can bring your own properties onto the FOHO platform. Think of it like an Airbnb. It's a two-sided marketplace. We've got the sellers and the buyers. So we will have there are some people who are a one-sided marketplace. This is truly a two-sided marketplace, very similar to the lines of an Airbnb. So also we're talking to the large builders, people like Tridel in Canada, Damac in Dubai, Loda Group in India, we're talking to some of the very big developers. So if you are putting up a 60-story building in Toronto, you can have 50 stories open to the general public, and maybe 10 stories, you can actually put them on the FOHO platform. Now that is the power of the FOHO platform. So you can have, it's a channel for people to sell inventory. It's a potential for people to invest, and we'll get a little more detail about that. I'll drop the FOHO club for now and move to the extreme right. FOHO.work is very similar to FOHO.house. It is a blockchain-based commercial real estate marketplace. So which is take an example, give you a few examples. For less than $10,000, you will not even get a 10 feet by 10 feet office space in Mumbai. But for $10,000, you can buy a fraction of a cell phone tower in Kenya, a fraction of a warehouse in Pune, India, a fraction of a distillery in Amsterdam, a fraction of a hotel in Hawaii. So all of this is possible at FOHO.work. Also office spaces. You can buy a fraction of an office space in London, in New York. So that's fractional ownership. Now you may ask, what is FOHO.club? So FOHO.club is our usage club. Now think of it as, there is no ownership, it's only usage. I live in Toronto, Canada. My daughter is 18 years old. She's just finished her first year at McGill University in Montreal. And, I travel to Montreal quite often because she's there. And I sometimes wonder, are the other families that also have kids in Montreal, do people travel to Montreal often? What would it be possible for people to get together and rent a villa or an apartment in Montreal and create some rules of engagement? Everybody gets 5 discounted nights in a year, and beyond that, you put it out on Airbnb or Trip Villas, and somebody rents it out, and at the end of the year, the club can decide to continue or not. And then let's say I put this idea, I become the organizer, I put this idea on FOHO.club, and guess what? 20 other people joined me. They said, yes, I'm joining the club. Here is my 1/20th portion towards the rent, and I want 5 nights in the day, and the rest you guys can put it out. And as organizer, I say I'm going to take 10% of the cut, and all this is there in the contract, in the smart contract. It is there, and it is put on the blockchain. Everybody joins together. They start using it. You can see the revenues coming in. Everything is on the decentralized ledger. It is available to everybody that is part of that club. And at the end of the year, my daughter, let's say, graduates. I say, you know what? I'm going to be out of this club. I don't want to join you guys for next year. Some new guys come in, and the club continues, or the club says, you know what? Doesn't make any sense. I don't think we're interested. The club just shuts down. So FOHO.club is usage, FOHO.house, FOHO.work is fractional ownership. And all of this is part of the FOHO ecosystem. And you need the FOHO coin as a lifeblood to get involved in all of this. So now, again, Roshan, do you want to add anything to that? Or why don't you take this slide? What are we solving? What is the problem we're solving?
Yeah. So essentially, what we're solving is, investing in real estate is both expensive in terms of the ticket sizes tend to be large, and so it's very difficult to construct for an average person a well balanced and diversified portfolio. Secondly, it's naturally limited because, like, even if I know, for instance, Australia is a great market, property prices are going through the roof, etc. It's very difficult for me to go and find a property, diligence it, go and visit it. There's a lot of friction to the transaction. And so, and then even after I own the property, managing the property is not simple and easy, and it's not passive. So what FOHO does is essentially addresses these problems for uh, the the large investing base who are looking at investment properties and saying that, hey, you can actually create a platform where you benefit from the wisdom of other people on the on the website. uh, Diligence is goes through a process. The management of the property goes to professional property managers who you as token holders can dismiss, renew, etc., over time. And you could build a diversified portfolio by spreading your portfolio across multiple properties, and in some cases you may actually participate in opportunities which you would not participate if you had to do the whole deal yourself. So for instance, in general, I wouldn't invest in, let's say, Saudi Arabia in real estate. But if, on the FOHO platform, if there's like a residential community which is rented out to Saudi Aramco for their employees, offers great fixed income, high yield, I'm not bothered about it being in Saudi Arabia in that instance. So, that's what we're trying to address. We're trying to keep the focus on the income and capital appreciation of the properties, try to make it really smooth, as simple as investing in other financial assets, and bring that bridge between the crypto world and the real estate world through the platform.
Thanks, Roshan. And absolutely. And that's, if you look at it today, property ownership is available to just a select few worldwide. Property ownership as an investment is available to even a fewer people. So absolutely something that, so truly democratizing real estate, people can own for as little as, $100, $200. It's something that we can do. So again, what is the size of the market? Now, this is just one perspective. The managed real estate market in the world, from 2019 to 2020, has gone from 9.6 trillion to 10.5 trillion, and this is not the full real estate market as well, which possibly, if we can move some of that 50 trillion, 60 trillion markets for real estate as a whole, as more and more fractionalizing happen, there is a possibility of more and more property getting into managed real estate. So this is just the managed real estate model. And if we are saying, taking this as a total addressable market, we're talking about, I'm going to stick my neck out and say, show me another market as big as this. And I'm telling you, you'll have to really, really, really think very, very hard to come up with some other business that's as big as this. So we're going after a really big market, and so there is a lot of potential. Till now, a lot of this was only available to sophisticated, larger, richer investors. So absolutely, to take a steal a term, we can do a Reddit on this market, right? We can definitely, take this on, and I think this is right for disruption, and this is something that so the market size, just to give you an idea, is quite big. So a few more things on market statistics. Here is the breakdown of that. The Americas obviously is the biggest. EMEA is the next biggest, and APAC the third largest. So and the year-on-year change, if you look at it, EMEA is growing faster, and this is the MSCI annual update index. And on the right, the market size estimates. The contributions are again, you've got some numbers there. So we can go into a little more detail in all of this as later on in the Q&A session. But what you need to know is we're talking about a market size not in the billions, but in the trillions. Okay, so this is a huge, huge, huge market, a huge opportunity. And as I said, we started this in 2019. So we already have some properties on the FOHO.house legacy platform. We're going to move some of this to our new platform as well. Dusit Thani is a well-known brand globally. Dusit Thani is a Thai resort brand, and we have an association with them, and properties at the Dusit Thani Sri Lanka, which is a property just south of Colombo, in Balapitia. Beautiful, beautiful area. and the one on the right is the ones at Aldea de Goa in Bambolim, Goa. So these are some of our initial properties, and these are stuff that is on our legacy platform that we will be moving over. And absolutely, these are already curated and already in place. We will start with some of these, but thanks to this was before Roshan and Triple R's got on board, but now we've got access to so much more that I think in the next couple of days you'll see some announcement. Really fantastic properties globally. So the ask of all of you, as a private sale investor, if you invest between 25,000 US dollars to 50,000 US dollars, there's a 10% bonus with 50 to 115, so up to USD 500,000, and then there is a 30% bonus. So again, the private placement is fairly simple. If you're an accredited investor in the geography you're in, you can send us the money. We have a SAFT agreement, and you would be issued coins at coin distribution day. The strategic partner, this is only by invitation, and this is specifically for some of our investors. There are like the Damacs of the world, the Tridels of the world, people, the Great Gulfs of the world, people who are developers, people who are large, big real estate agents. We want you to be on board as strategic investors. Our friend in Mexico, absolutely. If you think you can help us in the Mexican market, we definitely want strategic partners who can help us in these markets. So for $100,000, we're offering 0.5% equity in FOHO holdings and 500,000 coins. So basically, I think it's a steal, but it is definitely something that this is like getting onto Ethereum, the holding company at ground level. Like getting in at Uber or Airbnb. Again, this is by invitation, so we're absolutely going to be capping this, but we want to get the right investors on board, the right people. They can also help us and guide us as we go along. So also, this is the generic ask of the IU investor. You can participate. It's open right now, 27 July till the 3rd of August. You can open an account on BitBNS, which is our the IEO exchange. They're based out of India, but anybody can join in. That's one way is you can fund the BitBNS wallet and then participate in the IEO. The second is they also have an IDO, with also a decentralized launchpad asset, where through MetaMask you can buy through any wallet. You don't need to have the wallet on BitBNS. Through any wallet, through MetaMask, you can buy it. And if you need any help, please let us know. We can get you to participate. So the token allocation, I'll let Roshan take you through this. Roshan, as I said, Roshan's guy who went to I went to an engineering school as well, but not as fancy as he did. So I'll let him do the fancy work.
Yeah. Hey, everyone, these charts are taken from the white paper and a section called tokenomics. I'll highlight a few things, and the rest, of course, you can look at in more detail in the white paper. So on the left-hand side is your total supply, and we've got some interesting questions on the chat, which I've also tried to answer. So this time comes in at the right time. So the left-hand side, you have the total supply, and what I would, as an investor, look at there is, and the portion that's jutting out is the present IEO sale of tokens. So it's about 8.5% of the max supply. But what I would look at as an investor is that when you add up the IEO portion and the future token sales, that accounts for nearly 50% of the total tokens. So essentially what that means is nearly, Vijay, thank you. So what that means is nearly 50% of all tokens are only issued for cash, and the balance sheet of FOHO has that much cash as a component at any given point of time. The second thing is that if you look at on the right hand side, it's like how are the IEO funds being utilized? And if you see there, you'll see that if you add up the public relations and advertising and the sales and marketing partnerships, you're essentially seeing that nearly 50%, 52% is actually going towards generating demand for the demand for the token and generating essentially upward pressure on the token price itself, because there's more people who get to know about the token and they come onto the platform and cause that liquidity, etc. The rest are actually to develop the technology and make it user friendly, and ensure that there's operations and compliance and things like that. Vijay, you can go to the next slide.
Yeah. Yeah, Roshan?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and how we've broken up. So when we initially said we're doing this IEO, we essentially broke it up, saying that it's going to be 8.5 million, and now we're giving further clarity on where's that 8.5 million coming in from. So if you see that the a large portion of that I think the graphs here, the legends on the graph here are wrong. Essentially, they've interchanged the legend for the private sale and the BitPNS IEO. So if you see, only 8.8% is actually being held by retail investors. 20%, 23% are from private investors who have come in, who are large institutional investors, where there is a certain amount of lock-in if they have to take some bonus tokens, etc. So effectively, those are not very easily tradable. The other portion, which is a large component, is essentially strategic sale investors, developers, real estate insiders, etc., where again they have to actually stake a large number of those coins to participate in the ecosystem, and so that again doesn't come in. It's not easily tradable, in the beginning. So you really have a very small. Firstly, you have only a very small amount of supply which is being released into the market, which is about 8.5%. And of that 8.5%, you have only 8%, which is actually in the hands of retail investors. Even among that, they are all have already paid 10 cents, which is the IEO price. So it's illogical that they actually sell at a price below that initially. Vijay, can you go to the next one? Yeah, the next thing that I would like to highlight is something called the token release schedule. And so you'll see a lot of different colors there, but I'd like to highlight the color, the tokens which are in light blue. And the ones that are in light blue are essentially the tokens which are coming in from the cash sales. If you see most other crypto projects, you'll see that most of the tokens, other tokens, come onto the market after a span of maybe 6 months, 3 months, 12 months, etc. However, if you look at the FOHO project, you'll see primarily until the 30 month mark or the 20-month mark, you really have the light blue, which is the largest component of the entire supply. It's only when it reaches towards the 40-month mark that the light blue still, of course, is the dominant single largest portion of the coins, but you have other tokens which also come in. So what that means is that the interests of management. So if you look at like the team, which is the dark blue, really are kicking in, or they're vesting, or they're being released towards the 30 to 40-month mark, and that means that the management is really has no incentive to sort of not focus on the business, or to try and liquidate, or to try and make some money in the early stages of business. They're really aligned with the objectives of long-term investors for to build the platform, generate liquidity, generate value in this whole thing. Vijay,
Oh, sorry,
I may have
sorry.
to go down. No, no,
Sorry.
no,
I
that's
didn't.
fine. That's fine. I'll pass it on to you now, Vijay, because I have unfortunately it's early morning here in Bangalore where I am, and my dog's this is her usual time to go for a short spin. So I may have to just take her out for like 4 or 5 minutes. Otherwise, you'll hear a lot of barking. So I'll leave you, Vijay, for 5 minutes and then join you all
Sure. Thank you.
again in
Thank you.
five to
Sorry,
seven
I
minutes.
did
Yeah,
not realize. I was
thanks.
going to just do a double check. I did not realize I was presenting. Sorry. Okay. No, thanks, Roshan. Thanks, Roshan. I will take care of it. Yeah. Okay, so as Roshan mentioned, we're heavily we're in this for the long run. Some of the milestones how we got here. July 2019, we started off in Goa, India, with some of the properties. As we went along, March 2021, we get together, create FOHO Holdings. The future roadmap, absolutely. The 3rd August IO closure. August 10th is the token distribution. August 15th those of you who know August 15th in India, August 15th is Indian Independence Day. So basically, we have tied in, our trading go live with Indian independence. So as India got independence from the British, we think every real estate investor is going to get truly the freedom to buy property anywhere in the world at a fraction. So we're aligning it with Indian Independence Day. So and on that day, those of you, I know some of you are very savvy blockchain and crypto investors. We're also going to have we'll also be on Uniswap on the 15th itself. So you really don't need to get to Bitcoin. So BitBNS, you can basically trade FOHO coin from basically anywhere using Uniswap. October 2021, launch of the FOHO Club, FOHO House, FOHO Work, all of that, the unified app. November 2021, we say accepting the FOHO on other partner websites. Now that is probably going to be done even earlier. We're going to be having the FOHO coin being accepted at Trip Villas as soon as probably maybe a few days after IEO, but we're hoping to do on IEO date itself. So something so there will be utility on other websites almost immediately. And additional token sale, December 2021 or sometime around then. This will be on another exchange and possibly one of the bigger ones. So we're going to make sure that by then we've got enough critical mass that some of the bigger exchanges would definitely see value in listing us, and we would see value on being there. Now you may ask, why do we need the additional token sales? I would say good question. Here's why you need it. Okay, you need, because right now we're doing a pilot in India, Canada, Sri Lanka, and those of you who know a little bit about real estate. Real estate is a state subject or a province subject in most countries in the world. So Florida has its own rules, Michigan has its own rules, Maharashtra in India has its own rules, Karnataka has its own rules, Ontario has its own rules, Quebec has its own rules. So we got to figure all of that out, and that's why we're doing the pilot. India, Canada, Sri Lanka. The IMEA is India, Middle East, Africa is another 100 million coins. Asia, which is all of China, Japan, Thailand, Cambodia, we have 50 million coins. Europe, 75 million coins. Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, and the Americas, as we mentioned, is the biggest market. So obviously these are the allocations, and this is how we're going to be going after it. Obviously, as we go along, we will be agile and make sure the timings of each of the markets are done appropriately and in the best interest of the stakeholders as well as the coin holders. So so that was one. So again, the founders, I think we talked about this to begin with. That's me on the left. This is Roshan on the right. Besides all the companies that I managed, Tangentia and Tangentia Ventures. I was also involved a lot in the trade relations. I was the president of the Indo-Canada Chamber of Commerce, which is a prestigious 44-year-old organization. And I have quite a bit of insights into trade. We have connections with multiple levels of government. I have connections myself. Roshan has been felicitated by the Singapore Prime Minister. He has also got Trip Villas, has investment from the Singapore Sovereign Fund. So absolutely, you've got people here as promoters and founders that already run companies that are entrenched in business, thinking long term. So we're not here for pump and dump or anything that people, and a lot of people came to us and say, pay us some money, we'll tell you how to get your coin 6,000%, 10,000%. Here we've done it. And I told them, shoo, we don't want to talk to you, right? I mean, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for long term. We're looking for how we can get this thing going, and absolutely in the long run, we're looking for those returns, but we're not looking for something that goes up and down, and just because there's a pump and dump happening. So it's absolutely not what we intend to do, or not what our interests are. So on board also on advisory, we have Chandan Kumar, board advisor. He's a well-known person. He's also from IIT. We have Jason Fernandez, his board advisor. He's also somebody that's well known in the crypto business. He also invented world's first internet-based DVR. We have Floyd Tavares, who's a marketing person. He's also won a lot of awards and helps us quite a bit, and is going to be important as we go along with creating the FOHO brand and the FOHO marketplace. So that brings us to the end. I think we can take some questions. We'll wait for Roshan to come in. I will look at. I think I saw some questions come in Q&A. Maybe I'll check for the chat. I think there's some of those questions in chat, but we will look at this. So fantastic. Okay, so I see a good question here from Vijay. How does legalization work? Okay, so good question. This is. We've already solved this question for the 10 to 12 owners already. So if you buy a villa in Goa, you are not registered as an owner with the Goa government. You are not registered with the land registry in Florida. You're not registered with the land registry in Michigan. This works very similar like a REIT, like a real estate income trust. So we have a trust that buys the property. You as an investor, and those of you who buy shares on the stock market, it is very similar. If you buy shares of, let's say, Apple, you buy shares of Apple on the 27th of July, and on 28th of July, Apple announces a special dividend of $10 per share. Now, because you bought the shares on the 27th, the stock exchange sends your information on that record date to Apple. As Apple gets the information, Apple checks on this record date, were you a shareholder? If you were a shareholder and you bought those shares, you get the dividend. So these are rules that already exist. So similar to this, on our blockchain, in the marketplace, as people buy and sell, once it's sold, we take the registry of shareholders, we transfer it to the trust. So the trust knows at any point of time what is the latest ownership data. Now we use that data to pay people yield. If the property gets sold, that last person gets capital appreciation. So all of that is built in by blockchain and the connectivity of blockchain with the trust. So the trust shareholder ledger is connected to the blockchain ledger where we are doing the buy and sell or for that particular property. So Vijay, I hope that answered your question. We'll look at some of the other question. Control of the ecosystem is decentralized. Absolutely. So I'll give you the same example of the villa in Goa. If 10,000 people own that villa, and if you look at the smart contract, we allow voting, and we allow people to also provide, you can provide your what's the word I'm looking for? You can provide your share. You can allow somebody else to have your share. So if people vote, and let's say you have the villa in Goa, you bought it for $1 million, and collectively the 10,000 people think that rather than we continue to own this, why don't we sell this? So you can put it to the vote. People, if you get 51% votes to say yes, we'll sell it, the villa gets sold and everybody gets their capital appreciation. So absolutely fully decentralized, and it is definitely 51%. Okay. The very limited downward pressure on token. Absolutely, we agree. That is like, oh, that's Roshan. Okay. Okay. So absolutely, the coin is not minted or generated. But here, there is the proof of POS or POW, but the platform itself, you need more and more coins to participate in the token, in the platform. If you want to bring a supply, you want to bring a property on the platform, you need a sponsor, and the sponsor has to stake 10% of the property in FOHO coins for 1 year as guarantee for that property. So absolutely, the supply is locked. If supply is locked and there is demand, what happens to the coin? It has to go up, right? So there is no reason why. I don't understand this question. But it is basically pure math, demand supply, the coin, and since it's up to 8 decimal places, there is no there is no problem with coinage. There's enough coins to it's 1 billion coins at 8 decimal places, so there will be enough for a long time, for the longest foreseeable future. I don't see a problem at all. So the trust owns the property. Yes, the trust will be geographic. The trust is not one trust. There will be different trusts. It will decentralize. The trust will be by geography. The trust will be, again, we have to follow the state. We could have models. There may be parts of the world where the trust model might not be as evolved. We might actually go with a private limited company model, but we would follow the model that is appropriate for that geography, where the legal things would be allowed as well. We are just creating the trust. People bring their properties. We're not bringing the property, and that's why I think we talked about this last week. We're different from Realty. We're different from some of the other platforms where they are curating, they are bringing the properties. We're truly a marketplace. We're truly a technology platform. We want people to bring their properties on board. We want developers to bring their properties on board. So absolutely, I think I answered the question. The trust is going to be in every geography. You would have a trust in every geography, and basically the trust would be governed by the rules. There would be, every property would have its own smart contract that would govern the property, and so this would be a level 2 blockchain, because our first blockchain is only going to be for the FOHO coin and for the marketplaces. Then each of these properties would then have their own level 2 blockchain, and in which you would have property tokens that would be on that level 2 blockchain. Yes, we do have a legal advisor on the team. We have actually the general counsel of the Toronto Real Estate Board that is going to be joining us shortly as well. And we have legal advisors in different parts of the world as well. So this is, again, not a global legal thing. Every state and province in the world, we would have to get legal advice from, especially on the property side. So you know what? I think what we will do is we will just open this up. I think let me stop share. I'll just get people on board and just promote all of you to panelists, and we can talk face to face as well. Let me just promote all of you. There's not too many people, so that's the advantage. So please, I'm just promoting all of you, so you can ask questions. I would recommend that you possibly switch on your cameras as well, so we can see you. But if you don't want to, that's fine as well. Because if we then find out you're some famous blockchain billionaire, don't worry. Okay, so I have promoted Ashok. I tried promoting you. It didn't I think, work. So unless I think you've got to do something. Roshan, if you want to promote Ashok as well. So please, folks, if you have any questions, Laura, welcome back. Jose, welcome. Please, if you have any questions, we're more than willing to take them, and you can just ask them.
Yeah. Should we just go through, Vijay? There are some questions in the
I
comments.
did take them.
So, okay, sure, great.
Jose, any questions?
Hi, how are you guys? Nice to meet you.
Same here, Jose.
Can you repeat how the coin is offered? I mean, how do you control the offer of the coin? So when a property owner brings the property into the ecosystem, he needs to take some amount. That's the way it works.
Yes, good point. This is where Roshan, you want to take them through?
Yes, sure. Selling a property, there's two things here. There's the coin offering, and then when a property comes onto the system, it goes through a tokenization process. So what I'll do is I'll first go through the property tokenization process, and then I'll tell you where the coin comes in this. So when let's say, for instance, suppose you've got a property in Mexico and you want to bring it onto the platform, you first come on the platform and you list the property. You have as part of the listing, you have a small verification fee where basically then our designated person will go, agency will go photograph the property, check on the electricity bill, check the owner's name, see whether your identity is verified, etc. And then it goes into a premium section, which is called the sponsor section. So essentially, the sponsors on the platform are large real estate investors, large institutions, and they, to become a sponsor on the website, they need to stake a certain number of coins, which means that they have anywhere from $25,000 to $100,000, which are locked, which are available for any disciplinary action against them. Now, every listing has to receive sponsorship from one of the sponsors in the sponsor section. So what that means is that one of the sponsors has to single-handedly say that I'm willing to underwrite 10% of the value of the property, and I'm going to be locked into the property for a minimum of 12 months post tokenization. Unless the property gets the sponsorship, they can't go live on the website, and they won't be visible to the general users of the website. So you as a seller come online, you then go into the sponsor section. One of the sponsors has to sponsor the deal and say that I'm gonna commit to at least 10% of the value of the transaction single-handedly, and I'm gonna agree to the lock-in. And then I'm also going to upload my investment thesis and why I decided to back this listing. Once that is done, it gets released to the retail investors on the platform. They can then start committing to the deal and their tokens. So as they commit to the deals, they can participate in either fiat currency, so they can participate in USD, USDT, Bitcoin, etc., or they can participate in FOHO coins, which is, so they will be shown the equivalent of how many tokens and how many Bitcoins and how many FOHO coins their particular property, each fraction represents. Once it reaches a certain threshold, it goes into a due diligence process, and the tokens are then locked into the escrow. You as a seller then have to comply with the due diligence, supply all the documents to the satisfaction of the legal advisor who's been appointed by the token holders of that particular project, and pay the due diligence fees. As the due diligence passes, the money in the escrow gets released automatically to you, and the tokenization tokens are created. The property moves to the trust or the LLC, and then the token holders then appoint the property manager, etc. So essentially, what happens then is, as the property is tokenized, a unique new token is created specific to that property, which is a securities token. That, depending on whether it's 10,000 fractions or 100,000 fractions, that particular token has that many fractions, and the individual token holders are given those tokens based on the proportion in which they subscribe to it. Thus, if there is oversubscription, the sponsor doesn't go down, so the sponsor remains at his 10%, 20%, whatever he underwrote at the beginning, and everybody else gets a proportionately lesser number of tokens depending on the oversubscription amount. Now, the FOHO coin itself. So the FOHO coin can only be sold, is not a securities token. It can only be sold in for cash sales, or it can be bought secondary on the market, or it can be, let's say the small percentage which is released to the management team and and contractors, and as incentives for people who are promoting the platform, etc. So what happens there is that as part of the platform earnings, the platform generates platform fees, which means that there are fees for like, let's say, for every property that's tokenized, 10% of the value of the property is tokenization and platform fees. This is
Yeah.
shared with, let's say, 3% of that is shared with real estate brokers. If there's a real estate broker involved in the transaction, 3% with a sponsor, etc. So over time, and 25% of all platform fees are actually paid out to the coin holders who participated in that deal. So what that means is that the coin holders essentially, one, there's limited supply. There is a certain amount of cash in the coin, because that much cash has come in on the sale of the properties. And so essentially, when you are a seller of the property, when you receive the FOHO coins, you can actually uh, you are guaranteed that there is liquidity by the FOHO ecosystem, which means that you can actually put it back to us at market value, and we will allow you to take fiat currency out. I hope, Jose, I've been able to give you a sense.
Yeah, I mean, first time I hear this, so it's a little complex, but yeah, yeah. Thank you for your.
Roshan, thank you for explaining that. I do have a couple questions regarding that.
Sure, go ahead.
One, when you say the sponsor, who are those sponsors? Where do they come from? Are you selecting them? Are they the investors? They have to have a minimum amount of investment, etc.
Yes,
When
yes.
they
No,
Yeah,
yes,
and
when
Roshan, if I may just so
yes,
in some cases the seller can also be the sponsor. If
okay,
you're a large property developer, you can be the seller and the sponsor, right? But so basically, what we're saying is there could be people that are also going to stake their reputation, their livelihood. Now, this could be somebody like a Colliers. It could be somebody like a Remax. A large real estate company can also become a sponsor, and they do some due diligence, because now their name is also tied to this to this property. So we want to make sure there is the wisdom of the crowds. There is the right the players in the system that make sure that bad actors are kept out. And so those are people that we would want to bring in. But and if somebody wants to become their own seller, their own sponsor, the amounts are even higher. It's not 10% now, it's 20%, because they're doing it on a one-off project. So some of that is already there. If you look at our white paper, you'll see that there are some spreads there. So if you're a Remax and you're doing this, doing multiple properties all the time, you only do 10%. But somebody that does one-off, there's even more, they've got to stake even more, because they've not built their credibility. They don't have the trust of the community. So with the community demands that they put more of their own money as guarantee. So I don't know if that does that answer your question, Laura?
yeah.
yeah,
And Laura,
somewhat.
just
Yeah, go ahead.
to clarify a little further, the system is decentralized and open. So anybody who adheres to the rules and says that I hold a certain number of FOHO coins, and I'm willing to stake this number of FOHO coins, can become a sponsor and can see all deals. Uh, like anything in Internet 2.0 or 3.0, I don't know where we are right now. We expect that there will be some earlier participants in the real estate ecosystem who adapt well to this. So as Vijay mentioned, you have Colliers and JLL and all the CB Richard Ellis and all of those guys also who will come on and be sponsors. But we expect that there'll be some superstars who emerge by using the platform well and doing really fantastic deals. Because so let's say, for instance, Jose, I would not have known him otherwise, but on the FOHO platform, if he's really an insider in the part of Mexico where he's in and he's able to get great deals, then everybody automatically on the website starts saying that, hey, every alert me every time I want to subscribe to Jose's deals, and every time he puts up a nice interesting property in Mexico, I want to participate in that. So, you'll have this new class of sponsors and superstars and people who are, who are building their social media and their social presence very actively, who will also be on the platform and who will emerge as superstars over time, in my opinion.
I see. And
Yeah,
those
thanks,
those
Laura.
that
Laura,
are
we'll take a couple more questions. We'll go around the room and we'll come back to you. So,
okay, perfect.
okay, Antonio, if you want to ask your question, let me unmute
Yes,
you. I
thanks.
think you can unmute yourself now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. My question would be, once the property is uploaded and accepted and sponsored, who would administer and rent this property in order to release dividends, rents, everything else?
Good question. So
Okay.
once
Yeah.
it's sponsored, then it goes to the marketplace. You can say it's open for, let's say, 1 month, 2 months. It has to get sold. Fractional people have to come and buy it. If it buys, you get to 100%, then it's closed. If it's not closed, it goes back. It's not closed. So deal doesn't happen. It goes back to the seller. Okay, so the
Yeah.
seller
And the
loses the
token
due diligence
holders,
fee, loses some of that thing, and it goes back. So you have to bring the right properties that the people are going to buy. Otherwise, if it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. Or your sponsor has to put more amount, or the seller says it is at 60%, I will buy the remaining 40. Okay, so the seller can say, you know what, I want it closed. I'm okay with only getting 60% of my money back. So you can do that, right? So that's another possibility. But
Yeah.
that's something
and
that
then, and Antonio, there's a designated property manager appointed by the token holders, and the
Okay.
property manager then, adheres to the rules, pays the rent, collects the rent on behalf of the token holders, pays it out, etc. And the token holders, any token holders who own more than 10%, then can propose a motion to change the property manager.
Okay.
So, for
Okay. Okay.
instance, if let's say it's a hotel and it's with Best Western, and Best Western is not performing, and then you get an alternative offer from a Hyatt or a Marriott or a Courtyard, etc. One of the token holders can say that hey, I'm proposing a motion that we drop Best Western and we move to the Courtyard by Marriott, and as long as 51% of the token holders approve that, it gets approved, and the property manager also can change.
So the seller proposed these managers in order to, in terms of their value proposition when they try to sell the
Yes,
property,
yes,
or
yes, but it's not binding.
Okay,
No,
or
it's so the seller can propose, the sponsor can propose an alternative property manager, and any one of the token holders who or any group who have more than 10% can propose a third property manager,
okay,
and it goes to a vote, and finally, once the property closes, the token holders vote.
all this process goes into the blockchain, the
Yes,
voting and
correct.
the
yes.
nomination and everything.
Exactly. So the smart contract basically has already all this baked in. So
Okay,
it doesn't require us to administer it.
okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you, Antonio. We'll go to Vijayan. Vijayan, you want to?
Hey Vijay, yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, kind of understand the whole process. If you can dumb it down a little bit, like as I understand, there are different stakeholders. First is the seller, right? For example, me as Vijay have a property in Goa which is worth $1 million, right? Then I come onto your platform. Now I need to find a sponsor who can stake $100,000 worth of FOHO coins for me to able to list it onto your platform,
That's
right?
correct.
And now once I list it onto my
No,
platform, yeah,
Vijayan, to list it, you list yourself.
Yeah, you
But
okay,
listed, yeah. But
to
then you need to find a
display to the
sponsor.
rest of, yeah, to display to the retail investor base, you need sponsorship.
Yes.
So initially,
correct,
when you list, you are only displayed to the sponsors.
Yeah. So
correct.
you need some
So now,
sponsor to find interest. You need to get interest from a sponsor, or you are so bullish about your property, you say I will be the sponsor myself, and then you
Yeah.
can, and only for in that case it's probably going to be a little higher, but you put in the, let's say, the 20%, and you say let's take it to
Yeah.
the market after due
Or
diligence.
or or you know that the sponsors like JLL, CBRE, etc. are already empaneled and their sponsors or like a really large, well-known investors are sponsors. So you reach out to them prior to listing and say that, and you negotiate with them offline saying that, I want you to sponsor my deal, So as I mentioned, there will be people who are, social media superstars who will promote their role on FOHO on all social media, on Instagram and so, so they'll be out there and, you could probably engage with them one-on-one even prior to listing.
Sure. So let me continue. So once the listing happens and you find a sponsor for like $100,000, for example, JLL says, okay, I'm willing to stake $100,000 worth of FOHO coins. Now there are buyers, right? And they are, for example, just for simplicity, let's take there are only 10 buyers, buyer 1 to buyer 10, and then now they are converting. Basically, they're buying a stake of 10% each into your apartment, which is for $1 million, and they pay you probably in bitcoins or whatever cryptocurrency or in fiat worth of $1 million to you, right? And now their ownership is only on the FOHO platform. It is not related to a registrar in Goa, right? But they do have like an ownership on the FOHO platform, which means 10% of a villa in Goa.
Yes.
Now, what stops? Just a question, right? Just what stops me from saying, hey, I don't care about this. I've got my $1 million. I leave the FOHO platform and go ahead, and probably the sponsor is gonna just spend his 10%.
No.
And if I say, hey, sponsor,
No. So what happens
No,
is,
you don't
Vijay,
get the money unless it
you can't
closes.
take the money
You
until
can't
it
take the money.
closes.
So this is okay. This is we're really sorry. I mean, I'm saying you're dumbing this down too much. I mean, you got a guy that went to IIT, and I went to a not too bad engineering school as well. Okay, and I have an MBA in finance. Once the deal closes, once the registrar, the ink dries, okay, once everything is legally vetted, the ownership changes, only then does the seller actually get the money. Okay, so it's nowhere the seller is going to be able to get the money. I mean, it's not going to be, and if anything, it's going to be held in escrow. This is why the platform is in place. This is exactly what we are trying to solve. The platform.
So exactly.
Yeah.
And any attempt to do something like this, the seller is going to be out of pocket of listing fees, verification
Yes, the
fees,
sponsor will
due
lose the
diligence
10%
fees.
as
The
well.
sponsor will lose the 10%. So there is no incentive to try and do something stupid like this,
got it. So what
And
you're saying is after this register, do you register these 10 people with the go? See the
No, we don't
registration.
register the 10 people with
no,
Goa,
no, no,
no.
no. So let me
And it's not going to
give
be
you
10 people,
clarity
it's
on
going to
that.
be, let's say, 1,000 people or 10,000 people.
So in India, there is a, as you may know, maybe aware, or in most places, there is a, in India, for instance, it's already very legal to have a trust holding structure. There are two large real estate investment trusts which are listed in India. So the
Okay.
Trust Act in India allows for trustees to are well-known custodians, and these are, the number of trustees are huge. Where every blue chip legal firm, every large bank also acts as custodians now. They have to adhere to something to act in accordance with what's called the trust document. Otherwise, they are legally liable. In case they do not act as per the trust document, and this trust document here is basically wedded to the smart contract, which means that all corporate actions as defined in the FOHO ecosystem and all votes, etc., are binding on the trustees. So this is an order of magnitude better in terms of corporate governance as compared to the Corporate Law or Companies Act by using a company vehicle, because in corporate law, you are dependent on the corporate law of the country, which in some cases protects minority investors, and so in a real estate transaction may cause deadlock. So the FOHO platform, basically by using the trust structure, basically ensures that everybody will act in accordance with the trust deed, and the trust deed is directly married to the smart contract, and it's legally binding on the trustees to follow the FOHO ecosystem rules. I
Got
hope
it. So
that's
the
given you
trust
that
document,
clarity.
got it. So the trust document becomes the legally binding document, right?
Yeah. I think
Yes,
Jose
it's a
hit it
legally,
there. A
yeah,
big REIT in
it's
each
a,
geography is then tokenized an ownership center. Absolutely. Jose,
yeah,
you hit it on the head, a nail on the head. So you
yeah.
can be our Mexican guy.
Okay, okay, I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why-
And Vijayan, what you're suggesting, right, is exactly the reason why such a, because, there are so many, people who, as I mean, I think we've explained to you, somebody who tries to pull a stunt like that, he, and remember the sponsors, it's not just the 10% of the sponsor. To become a sponsor, he's also staked another amount of capital.
Yes.
So the sponsor is losing both his 10% as well as his staked earlier sponsorship capital, and the seller is losing all the due diligence fees and the listing fees, etc. So when you add this up for any individual transaction, it probably be 25% of the value of the transaction that you're losing. And I'm guessing you're a seller because you need the capital. So I mean, it seems foolish to me that you lose 25% of and try this, and just lose it, and you're enriching the platform.
Is there any document in which we can read this again and try to understand it better and better?
Yes, yes. It's lots of this, Jose, is in the white paper, and a lot more of this is coming out as we release the platform.
Yeah. So go to fohocoin.com.
Yeah.
The white paper is over there because
Yes.
Yes, yes.
I saw what is called like a light paper, which is like PowerPoint slides.
Yeah, it's compromised,
No, no,
but
no.
yes, but there is a white paper as
White
well.
paper
Just
also.
let me, let me see if I can send it to you on
Okay.
this link. Yeah.
I can look into it and
Yes,
and,
it outlines this ecosystem fairly well, and of course, what I mentioned to Vijayan is specific to the Trust Act in India, but pretty much most geographies now have a REIT structure and a trust support.
thank you. I got it.
Okay, so let me just see. I will just say, oh yeah, you got the white paper there. Yeah, good. Thank you, Vijay.
Yeah, thanks to you guys. Nice to meet you, and we'll keep in touch.
Yes, so the big dates, August 3rd is the last day for the IEO. If you want to, please go. You can, for the private investor or the strategic investor, we're looking for people as well. So please get in touch with us. You can fill the form on the website or get in touch with Alvin or Roshan or me, and we'd love to have you guys on board.
Okay.
Anybody has any other question? Alvin, you want to have some last words?
So the only thing I would want to put across to people is this. See, the depth at which this is being tried out has never been done before. So you have to understand that it's not all going to be smooth sailing on day one. But the good part is neither Vijay nor Roshan are going global on day one. They're starting with a small jurisdiction, maybe like you said, India, Sri Lanka, and Canada, and then moving on to other jurisdictions as we learn and we move. So the success is going to be in small numbers. So and there is no, even Ethereum, when it came out and then they had this DAO and there was a hack. I remember the failure, and then we had the difference and the split between ETH and ETC, etc., etc. So for whatever it's worth, maybe because blockchains end up with forks, we may not end up with FOHO coin on a blockchain like Ethereum, but there are other blockchains that solve these things in that proportion, which are not forked, or a FOHO coin blockchain by itself, which becomes the base token and then builds itself on layer 2, or websites and all the stuff that was mentioned here. So even if I think I've not done it, but now I go through the entire white paper, I will be saying that there will still be questions and there'll still be problems and there'll still be an evolution. But that's the point I'm trying to make. It's that without trying, there is no success. And once there is success, it's not 1% and 2% of profit. You end up with 2,600,000%, from 30 cents to $5,000. And how many people are standing up here and saying, we're going to do it this way? There's nobody. Ask me, because we would know. I'm unfortunately, a few of the people who have not turned up, I'm going to make them kick butt and get them on the AMAs in the future. They have pointed to Realty. We know that's the only one that probably exists, and I
Yes.
already see on their website the
So
limitations. Yeah.
Yeah. So Alvin, I think we have a question from Ashok Rande. Before
Hey,
that, let me take.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ashok,
So
please go.
Ashok, please go ahead.
hey, yeah, I'm really delighted to see, that Vijay, you and Alwyn, both of you, I mean, really a very nice venture you're coming up with. I really appreciate that, and I also was very happy to see that uh, from IIT Bombay we also have your partner. So no, that's very delightful to see. I'm from a 1973 batch of IIT Bombay, just
Oh,
about.
okay. Nice. Pleasure to
Okay,
meet you,
so
sir.
yeah, so this was really, I was very happy to see that you're leading this. I'm very,
Which
very
hostel?
confident that you will succeed in this, and I'll be happy to help you in whatever way you like.
So,
Have you?
Thank you, sir.
so Ashok, are you where are you based?
I'm in Toronto.
Okay, fantastic, excellent. So I actually do, because I was the president of the Indo-Canada Chamber of Commerce.
I
One of
know.
your persons,
Yes.
Surinder Sharma, was on my board. He was the vice president.
Yes, Vijay, I've been knowing you. I mean, I have seen you at various different places, and I think we have very briefly met once also. But
Okay.
of course, you won't remember. But
Sorry,
yeah.
I will remember
No,
from now on.
yeah, we have had a very brief conversation at that
Okay,
point.
sir.
But I
Pleasure to
remember
meet you,
I've seen
sir.
you. Yeah.
Fantastic. So there you
So
go.
all the
I mean,
best.
and more than anything else, as Alvin pointed out, I think we have the business experience, we have the smarts and the agility to counter that. I think that is, what we want as would be investors or partners and ecosystem partners to realize that we run companies and we run companies that are global in nature and large that and I, as I said, we've developed enterprise platforms with security. My company is SOC 1 certified, SOC 2 certified, ISO 9001, ISO
Yeah, I know.
27001. So all of that stuff we already understand.
Yeah.
We've been building blockchain for some other people. We're one of IBM's platinum partners. So we understand this thing very, very well. We also understand real estate. I've been a real estate investor for some time now globally, and Roshan, manages more than 8,000, different properties. So, I think it's a good combination. We understand this
And
space very well.
yeah, absolutely. And
Uh,
Vijay, I also
Which
like to
platform
take.
are you using? Which platform are you using? Are you using
Right now,
Hyperion for
this is
this?
on Ethereum. Our level 1 platform is Ethereum, but level 2, we're looking at multiple platforms. Roshan, if you want to mention some of those.
Yes, we've been quoted by many of the level 2 platforms. Obviously, many of them are also early in their evolution, and so we're being a little careful. A lot of them, as I said, I use the word they are wooing us because a lot of them want to move our transaction volume onto their level 2 chain. But we are evaluating them at the moment for the on the level 2 side. I'd like to also, Alvin, give a little bit of how we contrast from Realty. And Realty essentially is a centralized platform. So what Realty does is essentially only Realty is the seller, and there is no other seller on the platform. All deals are picked by Realty. They buy them. There is no transparency on at what price they've acquired the properties, why they're acquiring properties in Detroit, what are the yields of those properties historically. There is no investment thesis. It is if you go to Realty's past deals and you look at and you put the same property address on Zillow, in many cases you will see that the property has not transacted, which means that there's no transaction in the recent history, which means that essentially you're buying property from somebody who's obviously not the registered owner at the moment. You are buying property from somebody who maybe has a tentative deal with some spread in it, which means that there is a person who owns that property at he's listed it for $100,000. Realty's got a deal saying that I will buy it from you at $120,000 and I will sell it on the Realty platform for $170,000. And this deal hasn't even closed. The seller could potentially close with somebody else. Even after the deal closes, there is no inspection of documents. which means that there is no trustee. You are buying from Realty, you're trusting Realty to warehouse the documents, and hypothetically, the deal could never have closed at all. So I don't know if there are fans of the Realty ecosystem, here, and if they have, actually used the platform. But I'm happy to, have a one-on-one discussion and show them the documents of transactions which I have myself audited on Realty.
So let me take over. Yeah. So Roshan, what I'm trying to bring forward is this. There is nobody who's doing it in the dimensions that you and Vijay are. I'm telling you this because I'm from the space.
Yes,
Now, other
yes.
than that, Ashok, you never told me you were from IIT. So I've known him for so many years now because he's so hot on the Toronto blockchain space. And those of us who are here, we know each other. But that's a big surprise. So
Yeah.
thank you for
I'm a
that.
very old timer. I'm a very old timer.
Yeah,
1973.
but he
You know,
brings a
I'll,
lot from the Indian blockchain space and the courses that Bitcoin Bay takes to train people and stuff. So while Roshan, you and Vijay are newer on this whole thing, the Toronto blockchain space has been very hot. Ashok has been around for nearly five or plus years now. So
very nice.
that said, I understand much better even today that the amount of depth that this will require to sort out is not because you, Vijay and Roshan, want to sort it. That's the only way it will get fixed in different jurisdictions in different ways. This isn't a one-stop shop like Uber or Airbnb. I'm not saying that it is a one-stop for Uber and Airbnb either, but there is no other way to tackle this.
Yes.
Also, in the past, before Ethereum and even after, there were no stable coins and there were no other things, and the depth of contracts, etc., and you being wooed by level 2 is a completely different thing because you can start your own Ethereum-based proof of work FOHO coin, transit it there, and then build your own level 2 for each house or whatever else you want to. But the legal part and the real world part is something that is only known by people as much who are from the real estate space. And that marriage of blockchain knowledge, which Vijay brings, coding, and real estate, which so much Roshan and Vijay and everybody brings, is the first time. There is nobody. And it's not going to be a one-stop solution in the future. There was no way anyone knew that Ethereum was going to reach here or anything was going to reach here. No one knows the future. It is the chance you take with the right direction given, with the right intentions and the right people that gives you an opportunity to that success. If anyone sitting here says there's a guarantee, I think they need to go back and redo the whole thing and figure it out. So there is a blessing and all the best to everybody here who's come in and the whole enthusiasm that has been brought in. We need a lot more people. So Ashok and whoever else can push to the next 2 weeks of the IEO and then continue to bring better and better investors into this. That will make all the difference, and that's where I'm hoping myself and the Bitcoin Bay community can help this venture. Yeah, over
Thank
back
you,
to you.
thank you very much, Alvin, and I really like to thank everybody for joining in. And if you have any questions, or if you're ready to invest, please let us know. We can help. We have a whole like a concierge service with BitBNS. Either if you want to, directly go through the BitBNS wallet, or you want to go through MetaMask, do let us know. And because if any of you have come in through Alvin and Bitcoin Bay, we will give you even more special treatment. We'll make sure that you get white glove service. So we will make sure that you guys
One
are.
last question, guys, just quickly, because I do know that the BitBNS route has a KYC process and stuff, and a lot of the blockchain people prefer not to. So what is the one for MetaMask? Do you
MetaMask, I can give you. I'll send you the video. Okay, so with MetaMask, all you go to the Bitcoin Ascent launchpad, and you've got to just connect your Ethereum wallet and MetaMask, and you can buy the token. So there is no need for KYC.
So if we promote that,
Yes.
it will be easy. I'm telling you, a lot of people want to buy tokens, but they don't want to go through the headache of
Sure.
IEO and centralization.
Sure.
So if you can send me that process, so
I
I can
will
push it
send you a
out.
process. We have a video created as well.
Okay.
Absolutely, I agree.
Okay,
And
that's the easiest way. Believe me, for a lot
yes,
of
no,
people.
no, I agree entirely. In fact, even I was trying to get some non-crypto guys. I think it's easier for them because even there with the KYC and somebody, through the India thing, which bank account do I connect? So they got a different question. So
Yeah.
you go pick up, like similar to our geography thing, in your own geography, pick your exchange, pick your wallet that is easy for you to operate in. Bring that. It has to be an ERC20 Ethereum wallet. Bring that wallet through MetaMask, and you can connect and you can participate.
Okay, so I'll wait for you to ping that, because that's where on all our channels we can promote that aspect of it better, and we'll have a lot of people taking chances with $100,000, $1,000, $2,000, and that makes it much more faster. So
absolutely, it will. I was told there could be billionaires on this group, so it's billionaires. You can add another zero to that one that Alvin just mentioned. I'm just kidding.
That'll be a separate one. We'll give special invitation to everyone who came in today, but I have not yet started picking on those yet. They have to be each one called separately, so just give me some time on that. Yeah,
no problem.
So yeah, thanks guys, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Have a good
everyone.
night.
Have a nice day.
And Roshan, thank you for waking up early, and thanks guys.
My pleasure. Bye.
Bye everyone. Bye.